So let's get to what we want to talk about, the Pokimane stuff that Andre brought up a while ago. So what's going on with that? You want to introduce that, Devin or Andre or anybody?
Yeah, I can. It has to do with some targeted harassment that Poki has been getting.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of YouTube videos that came out that, and it's all about some like really pretty dumb shit, like if she has a boyfriend or not, or does she's supposedly lying about having a boyfriend or such. And I think that combined with the fact that she probably just hasn't had a vacation in a long time, is one of the hardest working people on the platform, just decided to take like a whole month off. And I brought this topic up because I wonder if like other people have thought about that and like thought about taking time off and like thought about like that in the context of their community.
Yeah, this topic was really relevant to me because like my sister currently is going through the same thing, and a lot of other female streamers, especially like Paladin Amber, just tweeted something about it. Like they're feeling burnt out. And then one thing, I was having a long conversation. I was curious if it was mostly a female thing. Like you're constantly getting comments, for what's bringing my sisters down is like constantly comments on your appearance, which obviously as a guy streamer, you're not going to get that all the time. It's like you're just reading this all the time. So that was one thing that was kind of bringing my sister down, and feeling really burnt out about this. And I think Pokimane, Amber feeling the same thing.
I think there needs to be, so I completely agree, and I sympathize with that. But the one thing that I will be consistent on, in my opinion, right? So first of all, I support Pokimane. I really do. Like, I think she's a good content creator. I think she's a good representation of, you know, I think she's a good, like, you know, she's good for the face of women on Twitch, right? Like, in my eyes, right? And I support her in a lot of ways. And I think her decision to, you know, take a break is completely fine. Like, I think everyone needs a break here and there. As far as the targeted harassment.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, she should have it also more into her normal schedule to have breaks.
Yeah. As far as targeted harassment goes, we'll go into that in a little bit. And as far as why people are upset about the break or why they're speculating on it, we'll go into that as well. But as far as what you're talking about with your sister, I think there needs to be, I think we all do this. It's not a girl thing or a guy thing, right? Like what I'm about to say, not what you just said, right? I think what we need to do is we need to stop that thing you're talking about that they're doing to her, right? The looks thing. We need to stop it in its tracks at the start. I think what happens is we get distracted by the compliments of the looks that we're in a way normalizing that, right? But if you truly want to get rid of that kind of stuff, you have to like both ways have to stop, right? You can't. Does that make any sense? Like if it doesn't make any sense, I can't explain anything today.
Are you trying to say that like when we're complimenting people, it should be based on character and not always looks? That's what I was picking up. Like, you can't always be like, "Oh, you're so pretty," if you can't also be like, "You're so ugly." If that's what you're saying. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the people who are saying you're ugly they're like, it's not necessary, and that's the part we need to talk about. Like, why they're going in there and being toxic. If you think they're ugly, just move the fuck on. Now, if she roasted you, want to roast back, fine, you know, whatever. But I doubt the streamer is roasting a random person that hasn't spoken in chat, right? So the reason he's doing it might be fucked, right? That's the part we need to talk about. And those fucking idiots, you know, and we'll talk about that on Dr. K next week, or we'll talk about it now as well. But I feel like if we want to get away, I mean, I don't know. The place I'm having trouble with is so many things are being introduced where I guess we don't need to stop both ways. I guess we can continue with the compliments and stop the negative. I guess that's possible. But I think we need to teach what is missing in today's society is in what contexts or how to behave in what contexts. That basic skill is learned. It's like self-taught, or it's learned through experience and trial and error when you're young, hanging out with people face to face, right? And I've talked about this so many times. If if at a young age people were together, right, with the boys, a lot of the guys that, you know, you won't see talking shit to random people and they're very polite and nice, they've been smacked in the face before. A lot of these new kids that have gotten their entire lives bulldozed and they still have their opinions and their parents don't check them, right? People don't let them know that this isn't okay. You know, they usually go off and they say things and they might not mean it. So they justify and rationalize, you know, their intention behind saying, I'm just fucking around, I don't really care, right? But in reality, it's very hurtful. So I think like that's a big problem we're having. We need to teach how to gain like the social awareness to have the context or to understand the context in when it's okay to like fuck around with someone that you know and say, yeah, you ugly as hell, right? Or, you know, does that make any sense?
How do you
I'm real fucked today. I'm real fucked today.
Teach that?
I don't know. But
That's what I think the problem is.
I got some weird like people, some randoms in my chat. They were like, "You look fucked up. You look really fucked up today. What's wrong with you?" And I'm like, "Bro, like I'm just not wearing makeup. Like, can I let my skin breathe? Can I just be who I am? Like without all the glamorous like doodads and fucking glitter? Like, bro, like
it's easy to say, but all of like these guys, maybe they have never hung out with a girl like that. Like maybe they never had a girlfriend. I don't know. Like they just don't know better. They know that a girl sometimes doesn't wear makeup and that she doesn't really look the same maybe without
Some
makeup.
Actually don't, because they never hung out with the girl. All they watch is porn, or like they actually don't have life experience. I feel like a lot of those guys.
The most frustrating thing about the whole Poki thing is I feel like she's going down for something that absolutely no male streamer would ever go down for. Like literally, oh, you have a boyfriend, so you're gonna lose tier 3 subs. Like it's just the dumbest ass.
Well, it's just it's a joke. He's joking. The same thing like the banter that they have on YouTube. I'm a fangirl of all these YouTube people, but I like Pokimane too. But I take this with a grain of salt, you know. I'm So when I see the videos, I don't take it seriously, and I don't think anyone that watches like if you take it seriously,
she had a noticeable decline in subs, like a very noticeable decline in tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3 subs.
Are these all people who had parasocial relationships with her that they thought that was their girlfriend?
Yeah. I mean, people took it very seriously. Nobody thought that was like that, and was a huge source of harassment for her.
Yeah, is it because she's so wholesome that like having the idea, just the pure idea that she is with a man is just so repulsive to them? Like,
at the end of the day, I think a lot of people have the concept that like if a woman is with a guy, that somehow devalues them to her. Like, it's not worth watching because they're just like so like petty and jealous for whatever delusion they have. They think they ever have a chance with a stranger just because they're attracted to them at like a.
I feel like I think that probably a lot of viewers feel like we're leading them on because how we're talking, like we're talking and maybe sometimes we're saying something that may come across as flirty and stuff. I think they think that we're leading them on a lot of times, and once they realize that you're with a guy, they take it very hard. And I understand it. I was, years ago, I was a big Leafy fangirl. I had his merch and everything, and I saw he was hanging out with a girl, and I was like, why are you hanging out with a girl? Like, I'm so jealous because I wanted to be with him. Because
jealous.
So it's the same thing it goes back and forth. We just need to take it a little bit more with a grain of salt.
I know what you're saying, Candy, but I think you're putting too much like credit into like a manipulative female side. Like we're not actually leading them on in like a normal person sense.
I didn't mean that.
Because that's more interaction than they get at all in person from any girl. So to them, they're like, she said hi to me. She must like me.
No, I think it's how we come across. I didn't mean that we are leading them on. I mean that's how we come across.
That's how they interpret it.
Yeah.
They're like looking into like a normal human interaction too much because they don't experience them in real life today. Just because so much of the youth's interaction is social media. They don't socialize anymore.
Yeah.
But I'm also curious, like, how many, if a guy, like a big streamer, like you, for instance, Train, if you took a month off of streaming, you would lose a lot of subs as well, probably, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I had
just because people. I mean, there are people in your community that.
Before my super clear, she lost subs way before the announcement. During the drama, she was losing subs actively day by day.
Oh, okay. So people thought she had a boyfriend before that.
That's right.
Oh, okay.
She had not announced at that point that she was.
Yeah. So losing subs for boyfriend, not for break.
Literally losing subscribers, like a significant amount of subscribers.
Because they think.
Yeah. A good analogy to think of here is okay. So like every time, it's just these cognitive biases that we carry because that we don't even realize we're doing. So for example, if you take someone like Poki and you have someone tier 3 sub and then donate $100, that's a simp. But if you have someone do the same thing to Shroud, that's a fan. Because he's just a cool guy that plays FPS games. That's what's fucked up.
People say that girls have the most simps, but the stats show that 9 out of 10 top streamers are males. So that's kind of ironic.
100%. Yeah.
I literally I posted that a week ago, and like I truly believe that as well. That there is a double standard. I think simp and yes man and things like this are overused. They're used by jealous, miserable people to manipulate and ruin, friendships, connections, and fan support with their creators or just anything. I think they're overused things, right? Like, are there actual usages of them? Sure, but most of them are all overused, right? It's ridiculous. I remember on Poki's birthday, right? Like, I wanted to do what I do for all my friends, right? Or at least like if I'm awake and I know it's your birthday, I'll literally stop by and, I'll just raise to like, just give some gifts, like it brings a smile. It's a nice little thing you can do, right? And I'm sitting here like, I'd actually sit there for like 5 minutes saying, okay, I could sit here and donate, $200 or $300. And then, my girlfriend's going to get messages. She's going to get screenshots. My Reddit's going to pick it up. This live stream fail. Her entire chat's going to start adding me simp, forcing CD, right? It's fucking stupid. So, you know what I mean? Like, and I should have just said fucking and did it, but I didn't want her to sit there and like feel weird, right? Because like, I can sit through it, right? I know my girlfriend gets it. She doesn't give a fuck. She ignores them and blocks those kids anyways. But it's like what she has to go through in that moment doesn't make her feel good. So I just gifted the subs, right? And like for some reason it's less, you'll still get called it, but it's less than gifting money directly. And it's stupid that it has to be that way. And it sucks that people like that, it's those crazy fucks. Like those are the actual incels in the world. It's those motherfuckers that are calling me incel. Those are the fucking incels of the world. Those are the people who it's wrong. It's so fucked up and wrong. And I hate it. I wish I could say more. I have no idea what I'm saying today, like in terms of like expressing like I'm all fucked up.
You're making more sense than you think.
Yeah,
I agree.
You are.
I even think you're making more sense than normal.
What?
Like in general, yeah, you're doing fine. Like it's good.
Really?
Yeah, I think it just doesn't make sense in your head, but to us, like we totally get what you mean.
That's crazy because in my I had a meeting like 2 days ago, and I felt the same way as today. Like, it's a little phase I'm going through. And
no, I think you're good, bro. Like,
no, the meeting, I'm like, yo, I'm so sorry. I'm not clear today. Like, I can't think very clearly. I'm going through this little phase with my bipolar. Like, it's just what happens. I get foggy for a bit of time. And they told me I sounded clearer than ever. And if anything, I put a really good first impression. I'm sitting there like, what the fuck? So hearing it from hearing it from you, I'm like, what the fuck? Damn.
He almost said, hear it from your dumbass. Hear it from your dumbass is even more significant. Like, yeah, I think you're good. I think it's good.
Damn. Wow. Thank you.
Yeah.
Another thing I wanted to add, I thought it was interesting. Like they're talking about Poki's boyfriend, and then there's like Train, for example, brings up his girlfriend. I don't think he's losing subs for that. XQC has a girlfriend, nobody cares. So
right.
I thought those like double standards. And also what Evelyn was saying, I wanted to bring up when she's like, "Oh, you streamed with no makeup," and everyone's like, "Oh, what's wrong? Like, why do you look like that?" Like my sister, that's what she's getting. And then because if you think about it, literally all the top female streamers are attractive. And then not to say that all the guy streamers aren't, but I'd say like looks is literally number one to be a girl streamer. Like you have to pass that standard.
Right. But you see, the reason why guys don't get used to having a relationship is because that's inspirational. It's like, oh, another guy nerd who's socially awkward like me. They have a girlfriend. There's hope. There is hope.
Yeah.
But when in the they like
I
think
true.
She's talking to other men. And me, fuck.
Maybe it is because it's like 90% guys on this website. Maybe that's why. Because I feel like guys are just attracted to girls in general, or a lot of times, and I don't know. Yeah. I totally understand why it's bad to talk about like your boyfriends or your boyfriend on stream. I understand why it's bad. Like you don't want to hear that. Like I when I'm watching a cute guy, I don't want to hear about his girlfriend. Shut up. Like I don't want to hear that. If you talk about it, I'm gonna unsub.
I'm thinking of how I should word this because I agree with a lot of what you're saying. There's a couple things that I think are being lumped in there, and the other things, credibilities, are just allowing the other things to get in there as well. I don't know. There are some things I need to have an accountability for. Do I think that accountability means that they're justified from the assholes that are saying it? No, but there, like it's kind of like me, right? I understand what I'm doing during my roast sessions in the beginning of my stream. I know what I'm doing. I know what I actually mean. I know it's not supposed to be toxic, but I know it's going to, right, bring in the toxicity. Now, in a perfect world, I shouldn't have to censor my fun times with the boys that understand we're just having a good time, just to get rid of a small percentage of toxic assholes. But in this reality, I have to do that. There has to be an accountability of that because I know we're not in that perfect world. I know those assholes, one asshole is going to ruin it for the 200. That's always applied to us from grade school all the way up, right? That's the fucked up world we live in. In a perfect world, I don't think it should be that way. I think you should do your thing. It shouldn't be a pick and choose. You can do whatever you want. Anyways, so what I'm saying is, I think for certain things, not all, I think for certain things, if you choose, so here's the biggest problem I had a while ago when I was ranting and giving speeches and talking about what I talk about, okay? I believe some people are completely aware of what they can gain and how fast they can gain it when they do certain things, knowing what reaction they're going to get. And once they gain it, the blow they took in taking that shortcut isn't worth it because they got what they wanted. So now that they don't want, it's kind of like when, you understand? Like it's the consequence of that shortcut, right? And that's the thing. You're gonna grow faster. You're gonna get there. You're gonna pander and appease all the people that follow you for that reason, which is, those people are, they're following you for the wrong reasons. But I feel like, right, like I understand if you're just going up there oblivious to it all and just streaming, and then people are coming in and objectifying you to a certain degree. But like I feel like not with all of you, not with everybody, not with every female, but I feel like there's some females that they will willingly objectify themselves. They will go that route. They don't mind it. They'll take it because they want that shortcut. But as soon as they gain it, they want to keep the shortcut, but they want to lose everything they had. Does that make any sense? So until there's accountability and something changes there, where more things are clarified, I think there's going to be a big discrepancy for those like toxic people that come in because of that. Now, I'm not saying it's justified. I'm not saying toxic assholes are justified and they have every right to do that because you do that to yourself. No, they don't. You should permaban them anyways and say, fuck you. But there has to be a little bit of awareness of the effect everything's having. And that's been drilled in my head the whole time. That's why I had to take my roast sessions. I had to take out so many different things I had because it was the effect of it that mattered, right? And it sucks, but that's what, I don't know. Does that make any sense?
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think it should be expected that it tracks it, but not that it should be tolerated. I get what you're saying. Like you should like try to educate, like, no, you're being an asshole.
I'm not saying, no. Saying it should be expected. That's how it'll be taken is actually wrong. Okay, so I don't want to say if you go and wear a certain thing, you should expect to get that comment. That's wrong of me to say. I'm saying when you're in the closet, right? I'm not saying it's you or anyone specific, but there's some girls that when they're in the closet, like, okay, what am I gonna wear that's gonna make this look good and pop out and have all these thirsty motherfuckers coming at me, right? That decision making is going through. Not everyone. Maybe it's one person, but I know that happens, right? The problem is that's not admitted. That's in the back of the mind. But you can't say that out loud because it destroys every defense you have when it does happen. But there are times, all of us do it. Men do it too, right? We do it with our muscles. We do it with what shirt looks tight on our arms, right? So if I'm wearing a shirt that looks great on my arms and pecs, and I start getting comments, I'm like, oh, what the fuck? Like, it's like and this is only a situation if I wore it for that reason. I'm not saying if you wear that shirt, you have to get those comments because the shirt looks good. I'm saying in the back of your mind, if you're honest with yourself, not everybody. Does anyone understand what I'm saying? I feel like I'm repeating myself.
I understand what you say. I think I understand. It doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter if you're a girl or a guy, though.
I'm so fucked today.
The more skin you show, the more eyes are gonna get on you. And
I'm not saying that though, because that's wrong. So, okay.
But that's how we're genetically created, kind of. Like, why does car commercials have a naked girl in them? Because then we're gonna look at it more,
Yeah, I don't.
You're gonna be like, damn, this car.
We're trying to get. I think we're trying to get. I think society is trying to get away from that and normalize the other side. So in that aspect, I can understand why they want to do that, and I respect and I'll support that. What I'm saying is something like different. It's like it's the little voice in your head knowing what you're doing, but no one ever admits that voice. Do you understand? Like you know what you're doing. That's what I'm referring. That's what I've ever talked about. And that's a small percentage. It's like 0.00001% of people do that. Okay. So I want to make that clear because I didn't make that clear during one of my speeches and I got banned for, sexism because they thought I was saying all women do this. No. I think it's a very small percentage. And unfortunately, it's that small percentage, back to my original point, that always ruins it for everybody, right? This happens everywhere you go. It happened with feminism too, right? I support feminism, but people confuse some of my rants to be against feminism. No, I support it. That's why, I have a lot of females in my community. It's the extreme feminists that put on the mask of feminism, use their movement to manipulate for self-gain, and then in long term, they destroy the credibility of a movement that is necessary for a lot of women out there that need a platform, need a voice, and are victims of fucked up crimes that are ignored, right? But there are always that small percentage of women, and this happens with men, I just want to make that clear, that abuse those things, right? And I think in every category, that percentage needs to be held accountable because they're the ones ruining everything. And like the benefit of the doubt, they're ruining the trust that people. Does that make any sense? Am I? I don't know.
Yeah, you make sense.
I'm just chalking this fully.
No, but you do make sense. It is a difference between. I don't know. It's the difference between the, like just wearing something cute and sexy and a difference between being shameless.
Yes,
and the shameless
that's exactly
girls
right.
Yeah.
If you want to be cute and sexy, no guy has a right to say, "Oh, you're wearing this." You're asking for it. That's fucking wrong. That guy deserves. He's a dumbass, right? Right. But if you're being shameless, I mean, look, you know what I'm saying. Not for that example. That example, you never deserve that, right? But it's like, I don't know. I'm done. You guys take over. I'm taking an AFK.
I think you should normalize people using their positive attributes without downside, etc. Like, I think looks is like the only attribute that people have that they can use that people look down upon. Like, nobody looks down upon gaming ability, athleticism, high IQ. Like, you're using your gift to your advantage, but for some reason people only look down upon like aesthetic appearances. And I feel like everyone uses their advantages to get ahead in life. So it's like we should just normalize that. If you've got it and it works for you, good for you. Instead of being jealous, because I think the people who attack it are the ones who are insecure about their looks. Instead of using and doing something about it to improve their own self-image, they attack it instead. When they don't attack other qualities that people have for their monetary gain at all.
Yeah. Jay, what do you think? Just kidding. Don't answer it. Don't answer it. You'll literally get kicked off the basketball team no matter what answer you give. Someone's gonna be upset. Abdu, what do you think? Actually, let's go to Margot or Evelyn. Anybody? Neytiri, Sydney.
Well, I have some thoughts.
Go ahead.
I have so many bitches, so many thoughts. So as a porn star, obviously, like, I'm so hyper aware of my body, you know, like, because on set, that's literally the whole point, you know, is you're using your mind and your body to create a video that people can find arousing, right? But then I go on Twitch and I'm like, okay, so this is the place where I am not that way, you know? And then people get mad when I'm not who they saw in the videos.
Right.
Because I'm not being like, oh, yes, baby. Like, I totally, like, you know, want you. I don't, you know? Like, I want friendship. I want friends. I want a community. I want, you know, to be around people who... Your fucking chat. God damn, I should have said that. Okay, I'm done.
No, go on.
It's like a contextual thing, right? It's like completely contextual. You're not doing that on this platform, so they shouldn't expect you to act in the same way. You know, it's like different content. It's kind of like if you have a girlfriend and you're at home and you have a good time in the bedroom where no one's around, you know, she wears lingerie, you talk dirty, you don't expect her to do the same thing at a fucking Walmart. The context is completely different. So yeah, no, I get you 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, I think
it's like it. Yeah, it's probably hard for the guys watching to just they think you're that person, then you come to Twitch. But it's like some people are better at reading the room than others, and the people who assume that you're gonna be like that, oh yes, baby, you know, they are not very good at reading the room. Just more.
Yeah.
I also think it comes down to accountability, like you were talking about accountability on the audience side, where like, why are you here? Like, if you're here because you find this woman attractive and she happens to be wearing a low cut blouse or whatever, anything that you like are aroused by, and then all of a sudden you're like calling her a slut, you're there. Why are you there? Are you there just to shame her? Or are you there because you found her attractive and now she's like giving someone else attention and now you're shaming her for it? You know, it's like, I think that there needs to be accountability on that side as well, not just from the person wearing the clothes.
I think the guys need to say something and stop looking at their computers.
Yeah, let's hear it. Guys.
Hey guys,
No,
hey guys.
I'm actually
For me, it's like, I was gonna say, for me, it's like, I don't, like, obviously, I don't have to deal with this shit. No, it's like, I don't have to deal with this shit, so I don't see the other side of it. So I'm like, I'm really just sitting here and just trying to listen to, just so I get a better understanding of what y'all go do. Because, like, I'm cool with Pokey, and I talk to Pokey, you know, when I was in LA, we would hang out and just kick it. And like she was talking to me about some of that shit, and I'm like, damn, for real, like that's like the shit I go. So I don't really see it, obviously, and I don't have that many streamer friends who are female, so I don't really like see the communities and see what people talk about. So, I mean, obviously, you know, this shit is I mean,
it's honestly. So like, if you go into a woman's chat and you just see people being like, "Oh, you're so beautiful. Hey, slut. Hey, show your tits. Hey, I love you. You're so beautiful." You know, it's like this fucking constant whiplash of people just constantly just caring about your outwards appearance instead of the content that you're producing. I mean, granted, there's people that are just literally modeling on Twitch. And that in itself is a different category, in my opinion. But, you know, like, it's for a normal person who's just trying to be a friend or, like, support their friend, and you go into their chat and you see that, you're, like, turned off by, not, like, turned on, but, like, you know, you're just like, this is weird. It's weird.
I don't know. Yeah, I kind of do that with my guy friends. I mean, when I look at my guys, I'm like, damn, you ugly as hell. Or I'm like, damn, you sexy. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at that. I mean, not to mention I do that with myself too. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
But it's different.
I don't know. I always, I never had a problem with, you know, like women.
No, friends are different. Yeah, a stranger is fucked. Go ahead, Abdu. Sorry.
Yeah, no, like I never had a problem with women on Twitch that whether if they were beautiful and used that to their advantage or like whatever they used to their advantage or whether they had great content or people like I feel like it's kind of bullshit for people to sit there and kind of shame someone for looking good. It's like it don't make sense. It's like what the fuck if she like how the fuck like she looked good. It's like either watch or if you don't like go to the next fucking stream. It shouldn't be that hard. I feel like I don't understand why people feel the need to comment or feel the need to try to put someone down or feel the need to speak negatively on women on Twitch. Like,
I mean, it's like the basic shit that we are. I mean, obviously everything right now is so social media based and everything like that. But it's like you gotta realize, like motherfuckers that be saying it, like they're only like like you gotta realize on the flip side because obviously I play basketball. There's 450 basketball players in the world, so it's like I don't get it in terms of like, oh, you know, pretty and all that. You know, people don't call me pretty that much. You know what I mean? So I don't have to. They don't want to like see me take my shirt off and shit on on the court or something like that. So I don't have to deal with it on that side. But like just in terms of the toxic.
Or so you think.
Hey man, shit. If they do, you know, I don't know. Shit, they don't tell me about it. I don't know, but and like my mentality towards it, because like. I get a lot of this shit. I get, just motherfuckers wishing injury, death. If you have a bad game, like get called racist slurs and all that. And it's like part of it is like, the people that's doing it just either jealous or just got a shit life. The other part of it is like, you'll be surprised how many people will like say some shit, and then you reach out, you're like, oh, like chill out, bro, or something. And like you'll say something and they'll be like, yo, no, like that's not really what I meant. I just did it for the attention. And shit, like, you don't know how many times I've been called the N-word and I said some shit about it. And they're like, no, yeah, I really don't feel like that, bro. Like, I just really wanted you to hear me out and shit like that. So it's like, part of it is just like, it's shitty because you got to take kind of like the good with the bad about it, because at the end of the day, you got to realize, those people are going to want to be in your shoes or jealous of whoever is of your boyfriend or whatever it is. So you got to take it with a grain of salt. Like obviously seeing this shit is shitty and it's hurtful at times, but you got to realize that, I mean, the people would, I mean, they would rather be in that person's shoes. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not really being clear with what I'm saying, but it's like, because I deal with it on a different scale, but.
I mean, how many times have you guys heard? Oh, sorry.
Oh, what were you saying?
Me?
Yeah.
Well, how many times have you heard someone be like, "Oh, I wish I was a female streamer because it'd just be so easy. Just look pretty on camera." And then just fucking make money off of simps.
As if we didn't put a lot of time in. I put so much time in.
Like,
oh my god.
Looks good. Clicks, I would say, but then like after that, it's content that keeps people.
Exactly.
Like, and that's why I mean the thing with it, like Jay, is kind of, it's like it is the reason why I say it sucks is because they got to deal with all the shit all the dudes got to deal with, and then even more because of like whether they're attractive or they feel like, oh, they only got this because they're attractive or they haven't worked as hard or people only watch you because this and that. That's why it's like it's really shitty for them, really, because they kind of got to deal with the same shit that all streamers got to deal with plus a little more. So that's why it's like really, really, like, I guess shitty for them. Like I mean I can't really, like, I speak on it because it's like I can, you know, observe, but I've never been a streamer shows or I've never been in the thing. Like, I don't know, but it's like what I do see is like it's BS, and I definitely do think it has to, that shit calm down. Definitely die down. It's definitely BS.
To be honest, like I think there are a lot more female streamers who have like around like maybe 1,000 views, 2,000 cap at that. Like I feel like there's a lot more of those, but I feel like that's like the cap for most of them because of the changing like the community of the female streamers. They get petty, jealous of each other, they drive each other away, etc. They get interested in another girl, they get actual girlfriends that stop watching the female streamer, whatever. But at the end of the day, there are more male streamers who can grow past that cap and just keep growing. Like I feel like there are less male medium streamers who like can't get past a certain number because I feel like once you're entertaining as a male, you're the sky is the limit. But the females have a problem growing to like max scale. I've talked.
Wait, so you said they get an actual girlfriend and stop watching. So you agree?
No, I've talked about this before. Man, today I feel like I've done such a terrible. Like, man, I don't know, man. Today I'm just off. My vibe is off. I've done a terrible job explaining everything. I mean, if I can't even explain if I can't even explain my own thesis that I fucking wrote to graduate, believe me, okay, there's something off. Okay, if I can't, trust me, my shit's not connected today, but I'm gonna try my best to explain this. So I've talked about this today. Shit, I've talked about this before. Okay, so this entire topic, I think it deserves like so much more time because there's like so many different things we need to talk about and raise awareness about and like, try and normalize and fix. And there's other things we need to hold accountable. But like for this specific topic, the one thing that I will say is the cap argument, I feel like is given out of context. And it's not just it's everybody. Everybody, like male streamers, female streamers, everyone. The cap thing that we keep talking about, that is something that is, I don't even think it has anything to do. Okay, so it has to do with being a woman because of the certain cookie cutter content. That is a content that only a female can do. But I think that the reason isn't because it's a woman. The reason is because it's the same exact cookie cutter build. Only the first people who do it will grow the largest from it. Everyone else who follows, there will be a cap no matter what, right? Like, look at what me, Greek, Miz, and like 6 other streamers do, right? There's going to be us. But I promise you, out of the, 1 million other male streamers, you're not going to see them growing anything past 20 viewers, right? Like you would think, okay, well, Train, was watching a TV show, right? That can't be hard. I could watch it on my stream. Like, even if they had an audience, I feel like only 5 or 6 of the first people can do it. After that, like, it's going to have a cap to how many you reach and how many you can build off of and how many are long-term supporters. Like, when you follow a cookie cutter build, that's what's going to happen, in my opinion. Like, that's what I feel like's happening. Like, all the largest female content creators don't even have that cookie cutter build. They've gone their own route. They've branded in a different way, right? So I feel like the reasoning to that is more so the cookie cutter build and, right, like who's done it first and how many of it will. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, I think
that makes total sense.
But I also have like seen with a lot of girl streamers like myself, I was experienced this when I was younger, or like when I was like, I first started my stream, my community was like smaller, was a lot of them get really competitive with each other and like behind the scenes and like private messages, just like fight each other for attention. Basically, if you start donating, they'll be like, "Oh, fuck you" with money. Basically, they're like attacking people for supporting you, and it just creates this like really competitive, toxic community. And the streamer may never even be aware of it because they do this behind the scenes, and they make it like a really unenjoyable chat experience, and it kind of like drives the biggest supporters away. And like then you just have this community of like really angsty individuals, and that's not a fun environment to be around. Like that can happen a lot. It can completely stop you from growing.
Yeah, that's the thing I don't like about like when the guys with a big following, they go to a girl, like for example what happened to Pokimane on YouTube now, and if Leafy called her ugly, then all of the fanboys are gonna go to her chat and say she's ugly. But maybe he was joking when he said it, or he was just it's like take it with a grain of salt. But his audience is gonna take it super serious, and they're gonna go and call her ugly. The same thing with, you know, the stupid Twitch dot thing that PewDiePie did. All his audience went and called everybody Twitch dots. Like, serious, you know? You understand what I'm saying? Or
yeah.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. They used. I don't know. It's like they follow the same thing. Like, what happened? Miskiff and Slicker was watching my stream, and they said, well, I was in goddamn sub mode. I've been cooking for a long time, so my chat wasn't saying much. And Slicker was like, "What the fuck is her chat is not talking?" And after that, everybody comes in and they say exactly what he says. Like they say they just copy him because they don't have their own personality. They just copy their leader, their master, the wolf leader. What's it called? Top wolf.
I've noticed this as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that's very interesting. It's a very interesting phenomenon.
That's okay. I see what it is, and I'm taking it with a grain of salt because I see this is someone without a personality coming at me, but it's hard. Like it's easy the first times, but after like 20 times, I'm like, oh, it's a little annoying.
Yeah,
that it like nags at you, you know.
I feel
you're right.
It's kind of up to the person who knows they have that much influence not to abuse that or like spew hate, because like if you know that your followers are gonna do that kind of thing, then you need to not do that, because you're telling all of those people, well, let's say it's thousands, that is okay behavior, and it's obviously not, because like you said, that made you feel bad, and like that would fucking suck if somebody did that to me.
You're completely right. That's what we need to like go toward. Like see, the thing is, so earlier when I brought the example of there's some individuals that know what they're doing, they do it to like, you know, gain it purposefully, right? The males do the same thing, right? Some males have an audience so unfortunately the most toxic audience is they'll do the most for you, right? But that's the problem is what you gain from that is in the long term, the same way that they'll go against anyone, they'll flip on you so quick, right? So like to think that you can like somehow tame that is wrong, and you should cast it out ASAP. And I spend hours in my stream just talking about that. And I tell people not to adopt my quarrels, not to, you know, talk to people the way I talk to them, because I might know them a little better. And I have moderators that sit in other chats, and I've implemented this thing where if you like see any bad behavior in any chat, then give me a screenshot, I permaban them in my chat. I talk about it so much. For how much shit I get from me and my community, like I think I'm the only like male that actually like casts out subs. I think we have like 180,000 banned in my chat out of my 700,000 followers, right? 1,500 are subs, and I don't see anyone else doing it, right? And this applies to everybody, whether it's political streamers, whether it's React streamers, every single person. They have a radicalized piece of their community that they gain so much from. They don't want to cast it away. But if they stood up and said, listen, this is what I'm preaching. This is the good part of, you know, in order for it to actually stand and pass, you know, we have to have a reasonable take. But you motherfuckers that radicalize it and start attacking everyone, you're discrediting us. You're discrediting this. Like in the long term, you got to cast those guys out. No one does it because they gain so much from them. Does that make any sense? That's the 100%. Problem. The problem is taking that sacrifice in the short term and losing viewership or losing money. And in the long term, you'll gain that all back and more. The problem is no one can see that far. No one has that foresight usually, but I don't know.
It was fucking hot.